Hello everyone, Bible believers around the world. Now I usually don't cover political issues on the channel, and that's due to the fact that there's Bible believers all around the world, and all of us Bible believers all around the world in the covenant, no matter you be an Israelite or a grafted in Gentile, we are all brothers and sisters in the covenant of Yah, striving to follow Yah's righteousness and learn his wisdom. So politics is just a way to divide people and cause outrage and violence. And for that reason, I don't like to cover politics unless it's something that is biblical. And right now we have something that is biblical going on in politics. So here we are. And there's a reason why I have Noah's division between his three sons of the earth on the screen right now. Because we're going to be talking about what land belongs to who and curses that come along with stealing land and colonization, basically. So, the current president of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, is very mad at South Africa because of the violence and mistreatment that Caucasian farmers have been experiencing in South Africa, aka sons and daughters of Japhet farmers. He's very mad about this. Now, murder is a sin. Genocide is evil, and the Most High Yah does not approve of those things. However, we've seen it time and time again in history where bad things happen to those who migrate out of their land that was given to them during Noah's division of the earth and try to colonize and steal and execute genocide on the natives of your brother's land and take it. Bad things have happened. Now, the fact of the matter is, the Europeans did not come to South Africa under friendly circumstances. Now, you may be saying, oh, are you saying diversity is a bad thing? No, I'm not saying that. For instance, in the scriptures, it is said that Gentiles can be grafted into Israel and that they can dwell among the Israelites. But notice that is under righteous motives. These Gentiles who can be grafted into Israel and who are able to dwell among the Israelites in times of old and times now were there to get to know Yah. They were in the covenant. They were law keepers. They kept the Shabbat, Passover, the whole 9 yards. We're not talking about colonization, British Empire, Spaniard, all that type of stuff. That's something completely different. And the fact of the matter is those white people don't even belong in South Africa. That land doesn't belong to them. They've stole it. And we can look throughout history. When you look at Japhetic history, mainly just of the well-being of Japhetic peoples, they've always have been more well off in their own land that was given to them by Noah during Noah's division of the earth than they have been when they've taken foreign lands. For instance, anybody ever notice how, well off France is and how well off Belgium is? But yet you look at lands, those are all lands that were given to Japhet. Those lands belong to him and his descendants forever. But you look at lands that he's taken, like Australia. Australia is not Japhetic land. You look how he's taken South Africa, and you can see the curses, like the wildfires in Australia, the droughts, the famines, the sunburn, all this other type of stuff that Caucasians have experienced in South Africa and Australia and many other places they've colonized. I mean, you can even look at it in the Middle East, which I'm not going to get into that in this video. I'll get into that in the Amalek series. But you have the people there who claim to be the Israelites, and they have just had a horrible time since they've been there. I mean, they've been blown up so many times. They've had to fight so many different wars. Like I said, sunburn, health issues, dying young. Meanwhile, whites in Europe have been having a great healthy time, and that's their approved land. Once again, I'm not saying diversity is a bad thing. I know some people trying to say, oh, there should be no contact with other races. That's not biblical. Like I said, the Most High Yah already put it in the law that it's legal for Gentiles to dwell among the Israelites and be grafted in. But the fact of the matter is, Donald J. Trump does have a point in saying, that the whites of South Africa have been done wrong in some way. It's the sons and daughters of Ham who have been done wrong in some way, having the sons and daughters of Japhet move into their land, without their permission, beat them up, steal their land, and people don't really realize that the Jim Crow laws that were happening in the United States were happening in South Africa as well. So imagine having limited rights in your own land. These people came over from Europe, beat up the inhabitants, and forced Jim Crow laws and started making white-only areas when they don't even belong here. As you can see, Japheth's land is up there in red. All of that yellow is Ham. Japheth has no right to be down there in the land of Ham, bossing around anybody. And it goes both ways too, because throughout history, there's been massive deportations of Hamites who have migrated into Europe. You see? And Ham has had curses and bad times in Europe, just like Japheth has had curses and bad times in Africa. So it goes both ways. So, once again, killing is not a good thing. It's a very bad thing, and it's not something we should be supporting. But Japheth has no authority over the land of Ham. He has no say-so over there. And the fact of the matter is, based on his reasons for being there, he shouldn't even be there at all. Now, if there were some tribes, if there were some Israelites in Africa, and these sons of Japheth migrated there to receive wisdom from the Israelites, and were dwelling among them, and being grafted in, and keeping the law, and getting to know Yah, and celebrating the Passover, then that would be approved, and there would be no problem. But the fact of the matter is they went there to set up colonies and make the land their own and steal it, which is not righteous. It's not righteous at all. And in the New Testament, it said when Christ comes back, he's going to divide the nations and put them in their rightful place. And the fact of the matter is, if you are a Caucasian, biblically a Japhethite, in South Africa, when Christ returns, he's going to put you back in England. He's going to put you back in Russia. He's going to put you back in Germany. You're going back to Scotland. You're going back to Ireland. And it's the same thing for the Hamites in Europe. If you're a Hamite, and you're in London, you're going back to Nigeria. You're going back. So all of these Europeans in Australia, when Christ comes back, you're not going to be in Australia anymore. You're going to be looking up at Big Ben again, that good old clock tower. You're going to be in London. All you Europeans who've, who knows, gone all over Africa, gone to the Pacific and the Philippines, you're going back to Scotland. You're going back to Albania. You're going back to Macedonia. You're going back to Greece. You're going back. Because those are not Japhetic lands. Everybody's going to be going back to their rightful place. All right? And that's something that, we need to talk about. Now, I will do a series about people who use that verse to say anti-diversity. That's not true. We will talk about the folks of other nations dwelling among the Israelites and coming to visit the Israelites to celebrate the Passover and all the different holy days. That is something that's going to happen. And for those people who are anti-diversity, that is going to really crush your doctrine. But this is just something I wanted to cover.